Ladies and gentlemen, our enhanced special offer for the Reds game against Ajax. Sadio Mane to score first was 5-1. Now an incredible 7-1. Only available to Anfield Agenda subscribers via the link in the description. UK and Irish residents, age 18 plus, and always gamble responsibly. As always, folks, maximum stake on this one is a tenner because we do want you to just have a little bit of fun with it. We don't want you to spend the money that you haven't got or anything like that. Welcome along, everybody, to the preview show. Looking ahead to the game against Ajax coming up tomorrow night. I'm your host, Craig. I'm going to take you through my predicted 11, my thoughts around the game. Important, of course, we beat Ajax 1-0 away from home earlier on. A THIAGO own goal was the difference between the two sides. So look, let's hope we bang in a few tomorrow night. There are a few selection headaches for the gaffer, of course. We know Trent isn't available. James Milner isn't available. Naby Keita isn't available. THIAGO isn't available. Van Dijk isn't available. Gomez isn't available. And the list just continues to go on, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. But there are always solutions to these problems, and I hope with my team selection I'm going to be able to take you through some of those. Ajax are a dangerous team. We know that. They aren't quite the force that they once were, particularly a couple of seasons ago when they got to the Champions League final. The team has been broken up. They are a bit of a selling club, but then again they have a great conveyor belt of young players coming through. Somebody to keep an eye on, by the way, is Per Schur, somebody who Liverpool have been linked to. And as I've said before in previous shows, Liverpool did take Per Schur's on trial when he was 18, when he was playing for Fortuna Sittard. They decided that he was a good player. They wanted to keep monitoring him, so they suggested that he go back to Holland, continue his progression. He then became captain of Fortuna Sittard and then, of course, moved on to Ajax. So, one to keep an eye on there tomorrow. We know it's going to be a difficult game. I'm hoping it's going to be an open attacking game. I don't want to give away my starting 11 preview or prediction a little bit too early, but I did catch up with Leon from Boyle Sports earlier on, and we had a talk around the Brighton game. We had a look ahead to this game at the weekend. We did, of course, reveal our Craig versus the bookies bets for the weeks. So look, without further ado, folks, let's go over and catch up with Leon, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. How are we, folks? As you can see, I'm joined by Leon Blanche from our sponsor, Boyle Sports. Leon, how was your weekend?
It wasn't great. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Liverpool were robbed and Man United came from 2-0 down to 1-3-2. So it doesn't get much worse than that as a Liverpool fan.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one feeling a little bit salty after the weekend. I mean, I know we wanted to touch on this, but there was a couple of challenges there to Rashford and on Adama Traore that went unpunished, shall we say, Leon, that had a bit of an air of familiarity to them.
A lot of familiarity to them, and especially when it's an ex-Man United player in Danny Welbeck who takes about 20 to 25 seconds to actually fall down after his maybe his foot was touched a little bit. Look, it was very hard to take. It would have been a big win for Liverpool, but it came at a cost again. We've lost James Milner. We got the news about THIAGO. Not good news. Hopefully, it's better news around Trent Alexander. Look, we've got a massive game to look forward to in the Champions League, and it's just a pity that it's not a full house at Anfield, because with the problems we have, there's no doubt that the 12th man, the crowd at Anfield on a big European night, would have, in my opinion, played a huge role against Ajax.
How are you playing right wing back, Leon?
I'm a left-footed player, so I might struggle. I don't know. Well, look, I suppose, let's not be too harsh on Neco Williams. He's still a young lad. He's still learning his game. Hopefully he would have learned from that penalty that he gave away in the first half against Brighton. I would say Jurgen Klopp probably has to play him there against Ajax. Matip and Fabinho and Robertson hopefully will make up the back four. And it's not that bad. Look, young lads are going to make mistakes. The most important thing is not to make them again. So hopefully, if Neco Williams gets the start against Ajax, he will have learned from the Brighton game.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as I said to you before off air, Trent made his mistakes coming through as well, and a lot of young players do. I remember Joe Gomez was called out ball watching a lot of the time as well when he was coming through, and he will need experience. And it's unfortunate for him that he is being thrown in at the deep end here rather than when Klopp wants to introduce him, the nice, easy 20, 30 minutes at the end of a game. Stuff like that. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not great. But look, sure, we'll push ahead and hopefully get to 3 points, Leon, and then head into the game against Wolves. And look, I just wanted to get your thoughts as well and pass on all of our best wishes to Raul Jimenez for that challenge, that clash of heads. That was very frightening.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I mean, health is your wealth in all aspects of life, and when we watch football, as we both do, Craig, you could hear the sound of that clash of heads. And please God, our thoughts and prayers are with Raul Jimenez and his family and the whole Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. You just hope that he pulls through this and everything will be okay. And the initial signs are quite good. So fingers crossed, Jimenez will be okay.
Yeah, massive credit to both sets of players as well. That could have really shaken them up, but they were professional. They went out, and you heard Connor Cody speaking afterwards as well. He's their mate, first and foremost. That's where their thoughts were. So, yeah, I echo those sentiments. But, right, Leon, it's time for our favourite segment. I feel like we should have a little bit of intro music here. Now, it's Craig versus the bookies. It's Craig 0, bookies 0. Leon, we have to change this. What have you got for me this week?
Yeah, look, we do have to change it. And look, I'm going for obviously a Liverpool win, but Ajax haven't lost any of their last 5 away games against English sides in the UEFA Champions League. They haven't won many of those. They've only won 1 and they've drawn 4. And Ajax obviously are top of the table in Holland. But I just fancy Liverpool tomorrow night. We've got kind of 4 superstars up front. I feel he might play the whole 4 of them. And he might just go with the 2 central midfielders, probably the 2 we only have fit in Hendo and Wijnaldum. But for me, it's going to be Liverpool to win. I think Diogo Jota to score at any time. He's in tremendous form, as we saw with that goal against Brighton. I think it's going to be over 2.5 goals. And I think both teams will score, even though they didn't in the reverse fixture in this group. And Liverpool won 1-0 away in Holland. So all those, Liverpool to win, Jota anytime, over 2.5, and both teams to score is available at 3-1.
3-1, that's reasonable enough. I've gone something a little bit similar. I think our minds go to the same place a lot of the time here, Leon. I've gone for Roberto Firmino to score any time, Liverpool to win, and over 2.5 goals, and that comes in at 13-5 for me. So I'm trying to go as safe as I possibly can. I had a little look at Mohamed Salah, but I wanted a little bit more money. I was getting a little bit greedy, Leon. I'm not going to lie.
Well, the one thing about Salah, Craig, and I loved Jurgen Klopp's reaction to Salah coming off after, 60-odd minutes against Brighton. He basically said, the day Mo Salah comes off and is happy, then I don't know what I'm going to do. Because that goes to show you how much he is annoyed about being taken off. Why wouldn't he be? We've seen Mane do it in the past. We've seen Firmino do it in the past. These lads are born winners. That's why they want to be on the pitch every single minute of every single game. I love that about Salah, and I hope he can get on the score sheet. Firmino can get on the score sheet. Jota can get on the score sheet, and then we'll be only celebrating a Liverpool win.
Absolutely. And while we're on Salah, and before I let you go, I thought we had another one up, Leon. I thought we had another enhanced special up at the weekend. I was dancing around my living room until I realised that I had to wait for VAR.
Well, I mean, in any other time or in any other walk of life, that would have been a goal, because how can they even call it offside? It's actually become farcical, VAR. And that's the only word to describe it. There's no consistency. As we talked about the penalty for Brighton, there was a couple of instances in the United game and the Wolves game, which were the exact same instance, and it wasn't given as a penalty. The sooner the better we scrap VAR. It was supposed to be brought in, Craig, for clear and obvious errors. Now, how in the name of God is Mo Salah's left toe being a centimetre offside a clear and obvious error? It's an absolute joke. But hopefully this week, for the Champions League game, the Anfield agenda enhancement will come good.
Hopefully. And just remember, it is a Champions League game, so UEFA handball rules apply. So set your targets inside the penalty area. Just start kicking it at people's hands and there'll be penalties galore. Have you seen some of the penalties in the Champions League? They're comical.
Oh, they are comical. It's almost like players are looking to try and hit the ball off an opponent's hand because they know they'll get a penalty. Something that hopefully our red men can pay no to, because we've been harshly done by on plenty of decisions so far this season.
Absolutely. Leon, thank you for your time, mate. We'll catch up on Friday, I think it is, ahead of the Wolves game at the weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow night. And again, thank you to our sponsors over at Boyle Sports as always. Right, folks, you heard what Leon had to say. You heard what I had to say. You heard a little conversation around VAR. I'd love to know your thoughts on that and anything else in between. And of course, I'd love to know your thoughts for the Reds game tomorrow against Ajax. I'm going to take you through my predicted 11 now in a second. But first of all, let me bring up my score prediction for this one. As you can see, I'm going for a home win. You didn't expect anything else from me, folks, did you? 3-1 home win for the Reds. I'm expecting this to be a good, entertaining game. Ajax should come to try and get the points because they need them. They've got a difficult last game in the group coming up against Atalanta as well. So I'm fully expecting this to be an entertaining evening's football. But look, we're here to talk about predicted 11s, aren't we? So let me bring up my predicted starting 11 for this game and see what you guys have to say about it. Right, here we go. Here's my predicted 11, folks. I've gone for, obviously, Alisson in goal. Now, look, the big question here was, what do I do at right back? And I had a load of headaches. Do I move Fabinho across to right back? Do I give Costa Simicas a go at right back? Do I drag Robbo across? Do we see Curtis Jones come back in? So many headaches, so fewer and fewer solutions, folks, as the weeks and the games go by. I've got Neco Williams in there at right back. I know it isn't an ideal scenario. I know a lot of people are going to be screaming at their computers and their phones right now saying, Craig, he'll be found out. There aren't really many other options, folks. Can't afford to bring Hendo back into right back because we need him in midfield. Milner's out. Gomez would be another option usually, but we know he's out as well. So unfortunately, all I could do here is bring in Neco Williams. And I'm hoping that he has a belter of a game. I think ideally Klopp would like to leave him out for a little bit. Get him back into the under 23s. Get him his confidence up a bit. But look, where we are needs must, ladies and gents. So I've gone for Neco Williams at right back, Robbo at left back, Joel Matip and Fabinho as the centre back pairing for the game. Midfield, then the decisions get a bit easier because we haven't got many bodies available. We know that Naby Keita isn't quite there just yet. He might be available for Wolves. Trent, as I said, could be back as well for the Wolves game. So my midfield is Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, and then I've gone for a quartet of attacking options. I've gone for all of them, folks. Yes, you could play Curtis Jones, and the gaffer may well do it, but I want to kill this game off. So I've gone for Bobby Firmino, an attacking midfield role, Sadio Mane on the left, Diogo Jota on the right, and Mohamed Salah through the centre. As always, folks, I do want to know what you think about this. I want to know your thoughts on it as well. There's very few options for the gaffer, particularly in midfield, which is usually an area where you hear me saying we have an abundance of position or players for the position. Right now, it's Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, Curtis Jones, and look, we could include the likes of Takumi Minamino, but let's be honest, he's not an attacking midfielder. He's more of an attacking player. He's more of a forward player. But is he going to squeeze his way in past any of the front three? Can the gaffer afford to really roll the dice and make more changes? No, not really. And what I'm hoping is, because we have this game, of course, on the Tuesday night and then the game against Wolves on the Sunday night, it will give players a chance to rest and recuperate. So I think we may see Klopp go with the strongest possible 11, I think, that can take the pitch. I'm hoping he goes with the quartet attacking four because I love to see how it will work. I think it'll work better, as I said previously, when THIAGO comes back in and we have THIAGO and Hendo and that double pivot in midfield with maybe Bobby Firmino, maybe Naby Keita, maybe Curtis Jones. Who knows? A little bit ahead of them. The options will be there when the gaffer gets players back. Thankfully, the injury crisis is starting to get a little bit better. As I said, we do have Trent and maybe Naby coming back, hopefully, for the game against Wolves on Sunday. I also want to take this opportunity to pass on our best wishes and speedy recovery to Raul Jimenez, who did have a skull fracture in that collision with David Luiz in the game against Arsenal yesterday. So, of course, all our love and best wishes go on to him. But right, folks, that is where I am. 3-1 score prediction for the Reds for me. An entertaining evening's football. You've seen my starting 11. You've heard what Leon's had to say. As always, don't forget about our enhanced special offer. Sadio Mane to score first was 5-1. Now an unbelievable 7-1 with thanks to our sponsors at Boyle Sport. UK and Irish residents only. Age 18 plus and maximum stake a tenner. I'll be back later on tonight, folks, with the late night agenda. And of course, we'll be here tomorrow for a watch along of the game against Ajax, starting from 7:30. Hopefully see you for that one. Don't forget about our second channel as well. We've got an Anfield Agenda Clips channel now where Connor takes the long form content and chops it up. So hopefully you can subscribe to that one. Drop a like on this video, but most importantly, give me your score predictions and your starting 11 predictions, and hopefully we can cheer the Reds on to 3 points tomorrow night. I will talk to you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Up the Reds.